All right, everybody, and welcome to Engineering All Hands for August 2021. The gang's all here. Say hello, gang.
Hello. All hands. That's real hands.
Yes, literally all hands, and hopefully not a super spreader event.
Sure, buddy, sure.
I am unmuted, right? I heard no laughs. Okay, right then. So, to kick it off, let's just quickly go over what Jina is, for those of you new to the community. So we're an open source cloud native search framework for any kind of data powered by deep learning. Search framework means you can use us to build your own search engine or integrate search into any kind of application, be it desktop or web or whatever. Any kind of data, we do text, we do images, we do audio, we do video, we do amino acids and 3D meshes, we do it all. And deep learning, we use the latest deep learning algorithms created by all the big players. So you don't have to build your own models, use the stuff that's already there and works well. So Engineering All Hands is a summary of what's going on at Jina, and this week a lot is going on. We share the engineering goals and milestones, we do a bit of a show and tell and a song and dance. We give tips, we answer questions, and we're totally open to the community in every way. It's on the second Tuesday of every month, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. right here on Zoom. A few updates from our end. We've got a lot of events coming up. On Friday, we've got an event right here at our office in Berlin, where our founder and CEO, Han Xiao, will speak about Jina and what it's like building an open source startup. August 26th, we have another Jina and Tonic here in Berlin, where we get together over drinks and talk neural search. September 17th, we'll be visiting Munich, where Han will be giving a talk. And in September, we are planning a European tour. Still working on that. Stay tuned to Slack to vote for where we visit. In today's talk, 𝗷𝗀𝘂𝘁 is going to speak about what's new with JinaD, the Jina daemon. So now I'll hand it over to 𝗷𝗀𝘂𝘁 and he'll get going.
Hey, let me try sharing the screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so my name is 𝗷𝗀𝘂𝘁. I work in Jina as an engineer. So I work from Bangalore, and today we'll be discussing about JinaD. So what is JinaD? JinaD is just a short form for Jina daemon. This allows to build Jina's executors, Jina's flows using REST APIs. So everything that we do using Python, if you want to opt for REST APIs, if you want to play around with Swagger docs, JinaD is the place to go. So you can play around with different Jina objects using REST calls. That's what JinaD's main purpose is. This also allows to deploy executors and flows on remote. So if you've played around with executors before or flows before, and if you want to deploy them on, suppose, an AWS instance, you use JinaD for that. It also takes care of dependency management, and using JinaD, you can deploy your flows and executors using containers. So everything is Dockerized and all your dependencies are managed. We also have a few beta products, which I'm going to talk about a bit. So how do you start JinaD? How do you play around with JinaD? So we have a Docker image that works for JinaD. So you go into an EC2 instance, you use this command to start JinaD. You can read more about what these individual options mean in our Google. So when you start JinaD as a Docker, and since it is running on 8000, you can go to localhost 8000/docs and you'll see a Swagger doc page. And with that, if you like Swagger docs or redoc, you can read the documentation there, and you can actually create a flow, delete a flow, create an executor, etc. So how can we use JinaD? Where does that come in use? So so let's talk about remote executors first. This might be a familiar syntax to you. So you're creating a flow, and in this flow, you're using some executor and some PyModule. So what this does is it creates a flow, and all the executors are running on local. Now, if you want to run this executor on a remote machine, for example, maybe a GPU machine where you're doing some encoding, the only difference is you just add a host here, host and port. You just add the host argument here. This talks about the host name and the port JinaD is running on. So you went inside the EC2 instance, you started the JinaD Docker container, and you got the IP. You just use that in the flow syntax, and everything else remains the same. What about other syntax that we can use with executor? You can do the same with Docker containers as well. So when you're using an executor inside a Docker container, you have a syntax like this. If you want to run that on a remote machine, just add the host information. That's pretty much it. What about if you have multiple executors and these executors are doing different things? So you want to use multiple machines on that. So you just go into these machines, start JinaD on the individual machines, and just pass in the host information in the add block itself. So that should suffice. What if you're working on an executor and you've not Dockerized it, you're still building it, maybe you want to play around with it, you want to see how scalable this is? What you do is, so you have a class definition here. This class is just an executor, your custom executor, and the syntax when you're using this executor is just uses and that class name. The way to translate this into a remote executor is just adding the host information as we did before, and just add PyModule there. So just mention this file's location, and once you mention the file location, this file will be uploaded on the remote, and this executor will get started. And what if your custom executor has a additional dependency? So Jina does not ship with TensorFlow. So if you're on your local machine, you can just start this executor, and you can install TensorFlow using pip or conda or something. Then you start this executor and it will work. But what happens on a remote machine? You cannot log in always to install it. So what you do is you create a requirements.txt file, add all your dependencies there, like any Python project, and you use flow add in addition to the host and PyModules. Just mention one more argument called as upload files and add the requirements.txt file there. What happens if your executor is using some other Python module? Upload all your files by passing the argument to upload files. So what this will do is it will install TensorFlow. So JinaD actually containerizes all the executor by itself. So you when you pass a requirements.txt, all these dependencies will be installed on the in a new container, in a new image. So using that image, a new container will be built, and your TF executor will be inside that container itself. So all your Python dependencies can lie there. So it would not hamper the main Python. So this is one of the common uses of JinaD. So if you want to use a remote executor, so you can just pass in the host information, and that should suffice. Are there any questions here? Okay, cool. So let's go to the next scenario if you want to create remote flows. So this is the syntax that we've been looking at. So we're starting a flow, starting an executor, everything is on local. What if you want to create a flow on a remote machine? So your flow comes with a gateway. Maybe that gateway is a HTTP gateway where you can send curl requests, pass in documents, and maybe do some indexing or searching or something. If it is on your local machine, if your flow is on a local machine, is usually not accessible by others. So what if you want to deploy the flow itself to to an AWS instance, for example, and make it accessible for everyone? The first step would be to convert this to a YAML. So you can look at our flow cookbook about how a Python syntax can be converted to a YAML syntax. So just create a YAML and mention all the users, what are the parameters you have, everything you can pass it to a YAML file. So you have a YAML file like this, you have an executor YAML file which looks like this. So everything is converted into a YAML file. Make sure that you have a py module, which is executor.py. So keep all these files in a directory. After doing this, then let's learn about a concept called workspace. A workspace for starter is just a directory. So create a local directory where you upload your flow YAML, your executor YAML, your Python module, maybe your requirements.txt, etc. So create a directory with that. Then what you do is we have something called as a JinaD client. So using this client, you create a workspace. So you do client.workspaces.create and just mention the directory path. So this directory has all your flow YAML, executor YAML, Python modules, etc. After that, you get a workspace ID. So remember that this workspace, so what this does is this creates a workspace on the remote machine. So workspace carries all the files that you listed on the local on the remote. So all these files would be present in a directory. And also when you're talking about requirements.txt, we create a Docker image on the remote machine. So all your Python packages are, so when we build the Docker image, all your Python packages are installed inside that. Once your workspace is ready, the next step is to create a flow. Remember that the flow syntax that we have for Python based, that does not work here. So this is about using JinaD client itself. So you got the workspace ID. So you do client.flows.create, passing that workspace ID and tell the name of the flow YAML. So remember that this YAML file was uploaded to the workspace in the previous step. So using this flow YAML file, you create a flow. So this means, so your flow is now ready. So the flow that you run on your local machine, it is not containerized, but on JinaD, this flow itself gets containerized. So it has everything that you uploaded to the workspace. So once your workspace is ready, that means you've got, once your flow is ready, that means your gateway is accessible to the internet. Anyone can interact with this. So what you do is you can send data requests. So you go to Jina client and pass in the host and the port of the gateway, and whatever we were doing with the regular flow, you just do send data requests. You can do indexing, querying, all the different operations that you've executed defines. Finally, once everything is done, you can terminate the flow using this. So there are different operations for flows, executors, piece, etc. that JinaD allows. So you can look at this JinaD client and look at the cookbook. It defines all different interfaces. Next step. So next is this is a bit advanced. So you might not be interested in this, but since we talked about it a day back, so I just thought of adding this. So let's take an example of one machine, maybe a PC2 machine where you have started JinaD. So what we can achieve is if you have multiple projects, maybe if you have a large enough machine and you want to add multiple tenants to it. So what you do is you create a workspace. So what this workspace means is this has a separate folder. So this workspace carries all your config files, your flow YAML, your executor YAML, your Python modules, your requirements.txt, etc. It also talks about different Python packages, and also it creates a private network for all the containers to talk to. So once you create a workspace, anything that you create, maybe a flow, maybe an executor, maybe another flow, all these are different containers. So they live in the same private network. They can talk to each other. And this is usually isolated. This is so we provide this isolation using the concept of workspace. So if you have another workspace, maybe a different tenant, maybe a different project, you create another workspace and you create all your index flows, query flows, etc. in the same. So yeah, so if you want to achieve multi-tenancy, go ahead and do JinaD, use this concept of workspace. And yeah, this is still a work in progress. We have, I mean, these features are tested, but if you find bugs, do let us know and we'll try to fix them. So yeah, there are some additional features that are in beta. So I wouldn't. This might change eventually. So if you want to stream logs, so maybe your flow is emitting logs, your executor is emitting some logs, and you want to read these logs. So we use Fluentd inside to store these logs. So if you want to stream these logs, you can do that via JinaD. So JinaD ships with Fluentd, and we provide a WebSocket endpoint using which you can stream these logs. We also provide a REST endpoint. So once everything is completed, maybe your flow, you started your flow, you did some indexing, then you terminated the flow. But at a later point, if you want to download these logs, we provide a REST endpoint for that as well. So this is already mentioned in the book. You can take a look. This is something that is not thoroughly tested, but we provide a way to run any custom Jina project using this. There's some information about this in the cookbook itself. Do go through this, but this is eventually going to change. So one of the things that I mentioned is you need to go inside an EC2 instance to start the Docker container, but we provide a simpler way to do this. We provide a Terraform module. This is you can find the source. So this is for JinaD AWS. So you can use this to create JinaD. So this can create multiple JinaD instances. So if you maybe want to run multiple executors, so what you can do is just pass in multiple, the number of instances, maybe 2 or 3. So this will create 2, 3 IPs for you, and all these will be public IPs accessible anywhere. And so using this, you can, whatever I showed you until now, you're passing the host on the executor, or maybe creating a flow using the JinaD client. All that can be done using this Terraform module. So this is again in beta. We've not done much. So if there are features that you need to see in this, do reach out. We'll be happy to work on it. Here are a couple of links. So one is the cookbook. So you can go to the cookbooks folder where the flow cookbook, the executor, document, etc. There you can find the daemon cookbook there. And also for the Terraform module, just go to the Terraform registry and you can search for JinaD AWS. That should be it. Any questions? That's kind of all I had.
I'm guessing it was so clear that nobody has any questions.
All right. Let me stop sharing.
Awesome. Thank you, 𝗔𝗀𝘃, for the great talk. All right, so there were no questions about JinaD, but yeah, any questions about Jina in general? I see we've got a few community members here. So always happy to hear those questions and thoughts, people. Oops. Let's just go to the questions page. Okay, it's silent. I'm going to have to start calling on people, aren't I?
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, there's a question in the chat. You've brought yourselves a reprimand, everyone. Right. It's difficult for me to view the chat when I'm in.
Then let me read it. How can I as a student use it, is the question.
Sorry, what?
How can I as a student use Jina?
Okay. If you're a student just starting out, we can recommend our tutorials. They're on our blog at jina.ai/blog. There's one for building the chatbot app and one for building the executors, so custom executors of your own to integrate your own models. Other than that, the cookbooks are a fantastic place to start, good source of reference. And on my own personal repo, I'm 𝗷𝘀𝐶𝗂𝘁 on GitHub. I've got several simple examples, like a meme search, like an app search. And I've just almost finished building a very simple image search example, which pulls all of its executors from JinaHub, which makes it short, super easy to understand, and very modular. And if you're looking to contribute to Jina, on the other hand, docs. We love those. Otherwise, we haven't launched the new JinaHub 2.0 yet, but we're always looking for more executors that people want to push there. JinaHub being our app store for executors. Does that answer the question? I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can see the chat. That will help immensely. Yes, waiting for JinaHub. Oh, aren't we all? Yes, that is really a cool thing. I've been putting it through its paces. We all have. We're all super excited to launch it. Cool. Okay. Who else have we got? Any other questions? Marios, it's good to see you here again. Good to see you, but unfortunately, alas, not hear you. Akhil, how's it going?
Sorry, Alex. Yeah, good to see everyone here.
Yep. Cool. And if anyone is deeply using Jina, feel free to reach out. We would love to hear how you guys are playing with Jina and what we can improve. And also, we would love to invite you guys as guest speakers in future engineering all hands to give the best practices to our community, larger community, to let people know how Jina is helpful with you.
Exactly. We're always looking for use cases. And some of the stuff we've seen coming out of the community already has been pretty inspiring. Building neural searches for Blender 3D meshes, which I, for one, am really excited about because I work in 3D printing. So if I can make that for 3D printable objects, that would be a big win. So you drag one mesh in and it finds similar meshes. Also, MLH fellows working on the amino acid search. That is looking seriously cool. And there was someone else working on cryptocurrency search. Those are just the ones I know about. And I'm sure there are plenty I don't. So do speak up if you're working on something. Okay, which other new faces have we got here? We've got, I don't know how to say your name, 𝗷𝘀𝐻 I really hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, how's it going?
It's going good. This was like my first session I'm attending for Jina. I'm currently starting out learning AI, so I just stumbled upon, and I thought Jina would be really an amazing thing, seems to me.
Awesome. Do you have any projects in mind that you want to build?
I would currently like trying to learn it more. Once I know the complete picture of it, I think I would love to build projects. It seems really interesting to me.
Very cool. Well, if you ever need support, you know where to find us, the support channel on Slack.
Yeah.
Cool. Who else have we got? I think Akhil just signed off. I think he doesn't want to be called on. Oh no, Akhil, there you are. I see you now. How's it going? Wow, everyone's pretty shy today. Okay. Anyone else have anything to share? Oh, I heard you very briefly there, Akhil.
Hello, I am audible.
Hey, we hear you.
I didn't sign off. Zoom call automatically cuts off.
Yeah, Zoom, our favorite piece of software. So many problems. So yeah, how did you find out about Jina? I think I've seen you on our Slack a bit, right? Zoom is being really fussy with people today.
I was the sponsor on it.
Do you
Hello.
Do you want to share in the chat? It might be easier. Or you can share on Slack after this. Cool. I think that's all of the new community members. Well, new and not so new alike. I don't want to say new and old, but yeah. So as a reminder, the event in Berlin is coming up on Friday. You're more than welcome. Come to our office, listen to Hans speak. The beer's probably on us. That sweetens the pot. And oh, the chat is showing activity. Ah, yes. Cool. Tweet about from MLH. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of people in from MLH. Really encouraged by that. We've got a few new team members actually. So Joe and Shreya, do you want to say hello?
Hi everyone, I'm Shreya and I'm the new DevRel intern.
Hello everyone. So I see my fellow pod mate Seth over here. Hi Seth.
Hello.
And hello everyone. And I'm sure Seth must have some good things to say because he's been playing around with Jina for quite a long time now.
I'm working on it right now. I'm solving some bugs, to be very honest.
Wow, what are you working on right now?
I'm trying to Dockerize the application, and there were a few bugs, like trying to cache the model that I have to fetch from Hugging Face. Then I have to make the front end and back end connect with each other, and then hopefully merge in PR with other MH fellows like George and Jam. So I'm going to fix some things, and then hopefully it kind of works, and I can merge the PR from my end today.
Amazing. I mean, these three have been working on amino search on Jina, which is like a very cool project. And as Alex said, that we are here to create amazing examples with Jina, so they're working on that, which is something really great. So all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, anyone in the team have advice on Dockerizing that might be able to help Saif? 𝗙𝗀𝘁, any thoughts?
Yeah, you can, of course, use JinaD for it, even though it is on local. But yeah, if you have a particular requirement, let's discuss about that in the community channel.
Okay. Yep, you definitely heard right. Beer is on us. I didn't specify the quantity. So, yeah, that's one way to go through our funding. And the meeting is going to be at our Berlin office. It's in the middle of Berlin, a place called 𝗃_𝗀𝗁. Yeah, if you want to know the exact location, you can search 𝗃_𝗀𝗁 Berlin. Can someone put the address into this?
I just posted the address on the chat.
Ah, perfect. Thanks, Susanna. So yeah, at that event, Han will speak about the journey of building an open source startup, and a lot of the team will be there. There'll be Jina swag to give out. So yeah, come join us. Book a ticket, everyone. And yeah, Jina and Tonic, for those not in the know, we do those on the last Thursday of every month. And we meet at either, if the weather's nice, we meet in the park and have some drinks and snacks and just talk about neural search and anything that pops into our heads. If the weather's crummy, then we go to a nearby bar and do the same. That's the format we're hoping to roll out for our European tour as well. So we're going to put a poll on Slack asking the community, where do you want us to go? And as far as possible, we'll try to follow that, you know, depending on logistics and not getting a horrible disease. All right. Any thoughts? Anyone else? All right. In that case, oh, there's one more thing in the chat, and that is, thanks. Yeah, we will keep up the good work. All right. I think this is going to be Berlin signing off. So, camera's on, right? And can we get everyone in shot? Say goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.